welcome back to another video. Today in this video I have here Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. This is my absolute favorite coloring book and I wanted to color some leaves today. Now I just sat here and I put together some color combinations, and this video is going to be a little bit different than some of my previous videos where I have shared different color combinations for leaves, because in this one they are all going to have blue in them. Y'all know how much I love blue, so I just thought this would be a really cool idea. Now they're all going to have some blue in them, but they're all going to have other colors as well. So you'll be able to see how many different colors you can mix with the various different blues you have in your Prismacolor set. If you check the description box down below, you'll find links down there to my Facebook group, my email list, my Etsy shop, and my Patreon if you'd like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. For more information on that, you can click the join button down below the video. Okay, so this is the page we're going to be working on today. These 4 color combinations were in a previous tutorial. I'll share that in the upper right hand corner so that you could check that video out if you'd like to. I can't remember if this was a tutorial or just something that I colored, but today we're going to color some of these leaves down here in this vase, and I don't know, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge because I've never colored leaves that look like these right here. They're a little bit different than what I'm used to. So I have 3 different color combinations that all have blue in them, and I have tested them all out. They've all come together really beautifully. So maybe we'll do this one here, and this one here. And I didn't want to do any that were too big because I didn't want the video to go on too long, but I wanted leaves that were big enough so I could show you all in this tutorial how to place your colors in the different parts of the leaves to still allow them to blend together the way that they should or the way that you want them to. So I think I might start with this one right in the center. And this color combination is quite different because we've got some purples mixed with our blues, but I've already put this together. I was coloring another coloring page and I colored some flowers in these colors, and I thought they'd be gorgeous on a leaf too. Now remember, your leaves don't always have to be green. I'm not using any greens in this video. We are using blues only with other colors. This one is going to be blues with purples. We have black grape, lavender, blue slate, and powder blue. So you do want to make sure that all of your pencils have nice sharp tips on them so that you can get into the little tiny spaces when you want to add all that extra depth and dimension, because we really want these leaves to pop off the page. So I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is powder blue, and I'm just going to come in here and lay some of this color a little bit over here. I always like to lay my lightest color first. Now I'm going to lay down my next color, which is lavender, and I sort of in this color combination have 2 highlight colors. This one is pretty light as well, but we are just going to come in here and blend some of that right into the powder blue just to create a little bit of contrast between these colors. And I am going very lightly. So now I have blue slate, and I am going to come over here on the outside, and I'm just going to blend this darker blue into these other colors. And these do blend nicely together. So the blue slate should blend beautifully right into the areas that you have that lavender. So I'm going to put this color more towards the outside over here. And so right now I'm just working on getting a good blend between these colors. And then I'm going to come back with my darkest color and add all that extra depth and dimension. And look here how that lavender and this blue slate, once they blend together, they create a gorgeous purple. So you can see a lot of these colors are fairly light, so I am going to grab black grape, and very lightly I'm going to start to come in here and add some depth and dimension right in here with these colors. Now this is a very dark color, so I am going really lightly, and I think that I want to use this color here right in the center where this pattern is on the leaves. So I'm going to stay out of this area here so that I can make sure that this part here really stands out. So I'm going to come over here where the lines are that Johanna already drew in for us. I like to do that just to create a little bit added depth and dimension. I always use the lines in the artwork that were created there by the artist. And I'm going to put a little bit up here, and then I just want to come down here on the side of the leaf. Now you do need to make sure your tip of your pencil is really sharp so that this way you could really get in there and create all that extra depth and dimension that you want. Okay, so now I have my blue slate, and I'm going to come in here and I want to blend that blue slate right into that other color and pull it out just a little bit. And again, over here where I laid that color on the edges, I want to blend it in just a little bit so I don't see any harsh lines. So now I want to come down here where this pattern is on the leaves, and I want to color this in just so it really stands out. And I might grab another color and blend it into this. Maybe I'll do that with the lavender. So let's see what it looks like here if we just pull this color through with the lavender. Oh, that is pretty. So see, sometimes you just need to experiment with your colored pencils and see what you like best. But I really like that rather than keeping the whole thing really dark. So now I want to come in here where I laid a lot of that black grape, and I want to just blend this color out just a little bit more. You see how it just pulls that out into the other colors towards the center of the leaf. You always want to make sure you have a really nice blend of your colors. We've got quite a bit of the purples in here now, so we're going to have to come back and add in a little bit more of that blue. But that is so pretty so far. You'll have to let me know what you think of these color combinations down in the comments below. Okay, so I have my blue slate, and I'm going to come in here with a little bit more pressure because I want to start adding a little more blue. And I'm not covering too much space with this because I still want to be able to see the other colors, but look how gorgeous that is. And I want to add a little bit more over here just so I have that contrast between the blues and the purples. And now I have my powder blue, and I'm just going to blend a little bit of this very light blue in here just to blend these colors together even more. But look how pretty this is. I put together these colors the other day to color a flower in another Johanna Basford book, Magical Jungle, and I was blown away by these colors together. And I was like, I have to do a video and share these, and I wanted to see how it looked on a leaf. But I'm going to come in here and put some of the light blue in here because I really want this to stand apart. And then we are just about done with this one. I just want to add a little bit more lavender in here. And you can see too how I am leaving a little bit of the white of the paper. Those of you that have watched my videos before, you know that I always love to use the white of the paper for extra highlights, because when you do that, that white along with the other highlight colors, it really creates a lot of added depth and dimension in what someone else is seeing when they look at your coloring pages. Oh, but I love this one. So now I'm going to go over this just one more time with the black grape and add just a little bit more depth and dimension here. And that one is done. I really love those colors together. So let's go ahead and move on to another blue color combination. So I think for this one, we're going to do this leaf here that's sort of laying behind. And this will be really great for this tutorial because we have a leaf laying behind another leaf, and so I could show you how you would be able to create all that extra depth and dimension when you have something laying behind something else on your coloring pages. So the colors I have for this one are Indigo Blue, Light Cerulean Blue, Light Aqua, and Deco Pink. So I'm looking at this and I'm trying to decide what I want to do for the center and this decoration that's here on this leaf. Okay, I think I know what I'm probably going to do, but in this case, I do have two mid-tone colors and they look really pretty together. And the key about putting colors together is to use two colors that have contrast to them. And all of these color combinations that I'm sharing with you, there are 3 of them, and they all have just 4 colors. So they're pretty basic, but they all still have contrast so that you could really create all that extra depth and dimension on your coloring pages. So I'm going to start with my Deco Pink, and I'm going to add some of this color in here, just as I did before. I always like to go light and then dark. And in this case, I'm going to be really careful about which colors I lay right next to the other colors, because some of these colors are not going to be so easy to blend together. So here I have light aqua, and I'm just going to lay a little bit of this in here. Again, I don't have a lot of space for 4 colors, but we are going to make this work. So I'm just putting it right around where I had the pink, because I still have 2 other colors to come back with. And I do have to do the top here as well. Now I have light cerulean blue, and I am going to come in here and just blend this color into the light aqua. Now the blue will blend into the pink as well, but I think I like my colors laid down in this order. And I do still have the indigo blue to come back with. I'm sort of wishing this leaf was a little bit bigger so that you could really see all these colors. And that's another reason to have a really sharp lead on your pencil, so that you can make sure that you could still see all your colors. Because if you have a blunt tip on your pencil, it's going to take up much more space, and it's just going to fill a bigger area on your coloring pages. And I'm also at the same time trying to make sure I leave a little bit of that white for the extra pop of highlight like I did here in this one. So now I have my indigo blue, and I'm just going to use the indigo blue to come in here and just start lining the edges just a little bit, because that is what I like to do to create the extra depth, to give it the look that it is just popping off the page. And then now here I have this leaf laying directly over the other one. So this one starts down here and then it continues up here. So I want to make sure that I add my darkest color right down under here to make this look as though it's laying behind the other one. And so I'm going to do that up in here, but I don't want to go down too low, because I think I want the center decoration in the leaf, which I'm assuming should be the veins of the leaves. I want to be able to use the indigo blue there. So I'm going to be very careful about where I lay this color, and I'm only using this color to create some added depth and dimension. And if you've seen my videos before, you know that this is my favorite color to do that with. And you could see that I've got a pretty sharp lead on my pencil so that I can do this. When I'm laying the colors down, I'm keeping in mind or trying to think about where I want to lay the other colors so that I can make sure I don't lay any 2 colors next to each other in 2 separate parts of this leaf. Now I think I want to use the light aqua, and I want to pull that color out just a little bit into the other colors, because I really want to be able to see the aqua. Okay, so now I have the pink, and I'm going to make sure I get that in there, because I really want to be able to see the pink, because I want that pink to be right up against this center part here so that the center really stands out. So now it's time to come in here and do the center, and I think I want to do it like I did it before. I think that I'm going to go ahead and use the indigo blue with, oh my gosh, which one should I use? I think I'm going to use the indigo blue with the teal. I think that would be really pretty. We're going to find out. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to do the edges so that I can come back and I can pull it out into the centers and add that light aqua at the same time. I have my light aqua, and we are going to pull these colors through and see how they look. Oh, that is so pretty. Oh, I really like these 2 colors blended together. Oh, those are gorgeous. Okay, so that worked out nicely, and then look how it really stands out off of the pink. If y'all want to see other videos like this where I do leaves with just oranges, or leaves with just reds, or leaves with all different shades of green even, I would be glad to do that. I just started putting colors together, and y'all know how much I love blue, and so I just thought this was a really great idea. Oh, look how pretty. So I'm just blending it out with this Deco Pink. Deco Pink is one of my other favorite colors in this set. It's my favorite pink because it's gorgeous for highlights. And the one last step I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back in here and add a little bit more depth with this indigo blue. Do you see how just by adding that color in there, it really creates a whole lot of extra added depth right in there, making it look like this leaf is actually sitting behind the other one. So I'm going to do that over here too and really darken this up down here just to give it that extra depth. And then I'm going to come back and just pull the colors together and into that pink. But yeah, a lot of you may have looked at this and thought even maybe 2 layers ago that it looked done. When you think you're done, always come back and add another layer, because each one of your colored pencils, or the colors that come from your colored pencils, they are going to change, or the value of the color is going to change dependent upon how many layers you lay down there. But look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. I hope you all do too. Okay, y'all, so before I move on and share the next color combination, I wanted to show you this really helpful resource that I have in my Etsy shop now. These are some of the pages that are in my Flowers and Leaves practice workbook. You're going to get lots of different flowers and lots of different leaves in this workbook to be able to color and practice, and then save your color combinations over here on the other side. You could print out these pages as many times as you want. Here is one of the autumn leaves practice worksheets. And then here is one that has flowers and leaves on it. It's going to start out with much more basic flowers where you're just coloring a flower. Then it's going to move into flowers with leaves. It's going to then go into the leaves, and it's going to start out with just very basic leaves. And then it will get a little bit more advanced where it moves into leaves like this one here that has a whole lot of leaves to color. So you're going to go from single leaves to a whole lot of leaves together, so you could practice what I show you in my videos where you have one leaf laying behind the other one, and you can really practice creating all that extra depth and dimension and putting your colors together. I know a lot of you use my YouTube videos to be able to get all of the color combinations that you want, and you're writing them down in other places. But in this workbook, aside from getting all the different leaves practice sheets, here's another very simple one. This is one of the first pages in the section for leaves. So you've got much simpler leaves here. But aside from just getting that, you're going to get another sheet here for color combinations where you can save all your favorite ones. So you can see it says my favorite flower color combinations, and then you're going to get another one that says my favorite leaf color combinations. So you can print these out as many times as you want as well, and you can just put all your color combinations together and keep them in a binder. Now I printed these out just on regular paper that is copy paper. When you are printing this out, I suggest you use the Spring Hill paper or the Neenah paper, which is best for your colored pencils. But this workbook is 19 pages long, so you're getting a whole lot in here. And like I said, it just moves from simpler ones to more advanced ones. You get a couple bigger flowers to color, a beautiful hibiscus here. And then you are also going to get inspiration pages on top of that, so that you can take these full color inspiration pages and you can match up the colors to your Prismacolors and bring them to the worksheets and be able to color your own flowers and make them look just like what you see. Now what I've done in this workbook is I've actually matched up the page numbers in the full color flower inspiration guide to the pages in the workbook, so that you can just look up here and it tells you these are the images for workbook pages 3 to 7. So you should be able to find all of these gorgeous flowers on pages 3 to 7 in the workbook. For instance, here is a bunch of different beautiful full color photos for a dahlia. And then it tells you to go to page 18. So you would just print out page 18 in your workbook, and you have a dahlia right here that you can use these beautiful colors, match them up to your Prismacolors or whatever other colored pencil set you're using, and you can color a dahlia. But I just wanted to be able to share this with all of you because this is a new bestseller in my Etsy shop, and I've had a lot of people tell me that it's their absolute favorite that I've produced yet. And there is a lot more to come to my Etsy shop. But if you would like to go download your copy from my Etsy shop, I will make sure I put the link in the description box below. So here's my next color combination, and you can see how different this looks. I have this bright, beautiful Spanish orange in here. And so this is really testing me. Because generally I wouldn't blend some of these colors together, but I'm going to do it on this leaf and we're going to see how cool it looks. And this is going to be a really great tutorial because you will see that you don't necessarily need to blend all of the colors right into one another. I'm going to show you exactly on this leaf how to space your colors so that you can still use colors that will not generally blend that great together. So I do have the cream here, which is going to blend nicely with the Spanish orange, and then I have my two blues. So I've got non-photo blue and cerulean blue. So I'm going to start with my cream, and we are going to color this leaf here, and I'm just going to lay this color down first. So I do want to lay down the Spanish orange first and my blues after that because I want the Spanish orange to have its own space, and I'm going to blend it into the cream, and the cream is just going to help us to keep that pop of highlight there. But I'm only going to be blending this into the cream because it's going to blend very nicely into the cream, and I don't know how well it will actually blend into the blues. If I blend it too much into the blues, I may get a little bit of a sort of muddy look that I really don't want. So we're going to test that now and see what happens. I have my non-photo blue. I do need to sharpen it. You could probably hear my jar link there in the background. I tell y'all, that's my favorite pencil sharpener now. And I do always have it linked down in the description box below in case you are looking for a fantastic electric pencil sharpener. But this is my non-photo blue, and I'm going to be very careful about where I lay this because I don't want to pull it too much into that Spanish orange, because I don't want to create a blend of those two colors, just because I'm really not sure how it's going to look. But I really do just want that orange to pop out in certain places just to make my leaf sort of pop off the page. And you can see I'm just going right around all the places where I did not add that Spanish orange. Okay, so now I have my darker blue. This is a cerulean blue, and I'm going to use this to add the extra added depth and dimension. Over here where I have this leaf laying over the vase or coming out of the vase, I want to make sure I have plenty of this darkest color down there, but I don't want to pull it too much into where I have this leaf here because I have a lot of this black grape in here, and I want it to look like this leaf is actually laying over the top of this one, so I only want to use my lighter blue over there. And I'm just going over the outer edges like I do on all of my leaves. And again, except for right here, because I'm just going to use the lighter blue there. And I'm going to do this throughout the whole entire leaf where I have all of the veins just to emphasize those just a little bit. And I think since this blue is a little bit darker, it will be okay to pull it down in there just a little bit more into the Spanish orange, and it's not going to make the color look muddy or anything like that. I just worry about the lighter one. I don't know, it might actually be pretty, but I don't want to chance it. So now I have my cream, and I'm just going to use this to blend these colors out a little bit and sort of pull them through. And this is the trick to me trying to get these colors to blend together the way that I want them to blend together, because this cream has yellow in it, so I feel like it will blend into both of these colors very nicely. Okay, so I have my cerulean blue, and I'm coming back one more time with this color. This color is so pretty, and you know what? I never use this one. I don't know why. It's gorgeous. It's just not a color that I generally pick up all the time. We all have the colors that are just our go-to colors. And that's why it's great to sometimes use a color palette, because if you're using a color palette, you're sort of forced to use certain colors, and it helps you to get to know some of the other colors in your colored pencil set, and it allows you to be able to create even more color combinations when you're putting your pencils together, rather than going to the same exact colors and using the same combinations over and over again. But oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Now I have my non-photo blue, and I'm just going to sort of pull some of this into that Spanish orange, and it looks like it's doing okay. I didn't want to change the color up too much because I really just want that Spanish orange to pop out. And I am going to come back with the Spanish orange, and I'm going to add some more of it just to really brighten it up. And I'm going to stay right in those areas just where I laid it previously, because I don't want to blend this color into a lot of those blues, and I still want to be able to leave a little bit of that white. If you could see over here, I'm using a little bit of the white of the paper just so I get that tad bit of extra highlight over there. And now I'm going to blend it out with the cream one more time. And that helped to blend a lot of these colors together. The cream is a fabulous blender. I use this as my blender color so often because it has yellow in it, but it's still super, super light, so it's not going to fade out your colors as if you were using the white as your blender pencil or your burnishing pencil. I think it actually looks prettier now that there's a few little green tints in certain places. And see, that's what coloring is all about, experimenting, because at first I thought I wouldn't like that, and I was trying so hard not to pull those colors together. But now look at how pretty it is. It looks like I actually used green, but I didn't use any green. And you could see a little bit of a hint of green in there now. Oh, I love it. So those were my 3 color combinations, all with blue. I hope y'all loved this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out a whole lot. If y'all would like to see me do another video like this one where I use just one particular color family as my base color, like in this instance I used the blue, I would be glad to do that. Maybe a video where I just use orange or just use red and then just bring in other colors to really emphasize that one color family. But I think this is really cool, and you could see that you could do so much with blue and you could blend it with other colors. Here I thought that it really wouldn't look that great blended in with that Spanish orange, but look at that pop it gave it. It's just beautiful. And that's not anything I've ever done before. That all just came from wanting to experiment with my colored pencils, and you can see that I was a little bit unsure, but in the end it turned out absolutely beautiful. But I love all of these color combinations. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments below if you're interested in my flowers and leaves practice workbook with all of those beautiful inspiration pages. I will have that linked in the description box below. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.